My name is Dr. Patrick Washington. I'm a native of Ashland, Mississippi, and proud graduate of Ashland High School class of '93. And also, I received my master's and my doctorate degree from Ole Miss. So I'm proud that you're a rebel. I did undergrad at Mississippi State. Hey, don't ask me why. A lot of people want to know, like, why did you go to both schools? Hey, I got love for both. And I'm an educator by trade and by career. I chose to go into education and married my high school sweetheart. We've been married for 20 years now. We have two daughters, a freshman at Middle Tennessee State University, Olivia, and high school freshman, Emily, at Olive Branch High School. So I'm an educator. I always knew that I wanted to teach. You know, many people ask me why. It was never about the money. I just knew that was my purpose for being here. So I decided to go into education. I began as a fourth grade teacher at Evans Elementary School, which is located in Memphis. I taught for 5 years, and then there was a unique opportunity for me to join a national leadership organization called New Leaders, New Leaders for New Schools at the time, but it's New Leaders Incorporated now. Organization based in New York, but they focused their efforts to develop effective school leaders in 13 of the largest school districts in the country. And so several philanthropists from Memphis paid them to come to Memphis, and they chose 9 individuals, and I was one of the 9. Studied at the University of Penn for 6 weeks, and then I was named principal at Georgia Avenue Elementary School in Memphis when I was 26. So I was the youngest principal in Memphis at that time. I did that for 3 years, and then the citizens of Benton County gave me an opportunity to be the first superintendent of color here, and that was a very challenging but yet rewarding experience. I did that for 4 years, and then I went back. I had an opportunity. You know, life is like this 360. Like things have a way of, you know, you hear the saying, what goes around comes around. So I ended up going back working for New Leaders, and I trained principals for those 13 cities that I mentioned before: New York, Oakland, San Francisco, Chicago, DC. Did that for 2 years, and then another opportunity came for me to open a charter school. And you know, I literally had an opportunity to create a school from the ground up. All of my thoughts, what I thought a school should look like, be like, how teachers should teach, what the school day should look like. And I traveled the country for that first year before I opened to study and look at other schools. And then I opened a school in 2014, and it's still there. And now I've started a nonprofit organization to recruit and develop African American or minority teachers of color, male teachers of color, become teachers, because in this country, only 2% of the teachers in pre-K through 12th grade are black or brown men. Think about that. So out of all of the teachers in the country, only 2% of them are black men. So you can go to school in some places in this country and never have a black or minority male teacher. So I wanted to change that.
I tried to create a 2-pager that is your short summary of the programs that we are now going to put in place as offerings from Man Up.
And so I pay for young men to get their degrees, and I support them, and I help them get a job, and I help them to become excellent educators so they can be the future school leaders in this country eventually. This pandemic has had a direct impact on education. I think and you know, obviously, a lot of schools are completely virtual. You know, even my daughter's there at college. My daughter's her freshman year. She'll never forget. Because of this pandemic, she's doing all of her work from home. Emily's freshman year in high school is all online, and for our kids that are at our schools, we actually there are only 5 public schools in Memphis that actually give kids an opportunity to be at school or learn virtually, and so we have 2 of them. And so, you know, we have about 200 kids between both of our campuses, and then the rest are learning at home. I think it has challenged our work because teachers are having to do something that they were never trained to do, and that's teach all online. And when you think about doing that for a full day, you got a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old or even adults. You know what I mean? You know, with being in like sitting in front of a screen all day, that's no easy thing. And then for a teacher to make that interesting, it's been a real challenge. But I think after this, teachers are going to certainly be more tech savvy, and hopefully parents and the community and the country as a whole should have a greater appreciation for teachers, because parents are now, they're having to, they've had to make real adjustments to keeping their kids at home and trying to teach them and learning alongside them. So education, and I believe as a result of this, is going to come out better. We just got to get through it. You sometimes, I know for myself, we'll take a lot of things for granted. Like, I'm a pastor as well, so leading in the faith-based community. I was thinking the other day, when was the last time I actually just hugged someone, I shook their hand, those small things that, like, man, I miss that. I miss being able to, have people over. We moved in this house right as the pandemic was happening, or right, I guess it was hitting its peak. And my family everybody wanted to come over, and I grew up on this on this spot of land, not in this house, obviously, but my whole life has been really here. And I wanted my brothers and sisters to come over, can't do that, and so just one person, just appreciate every moment and not to take anything for granted. I know that probably sounds cliche, a lot of people say that, but for me, being the social person that I am, I thrive off being around others and just, I love life, love to have fun. And so I can't wait to be able to do that again. Professionally, I've been in my mind working on several books. And so I've really made a serious attempt to try to get those books published, both that deal with education as well as dealing with religion or the religious aspect of life. And hopefully by the spring of next year, I will have at least 2 of those books done. So I have about 15 to 20 that I want to write, just taking the time to get those done. So hopefully I'll be a published author here real soon. The fact that teachers are having to adjust, professors, I also teach college. I didn't mention that. I teach graduate level at Blue Mountain College. I teach courses to help teachers and school leaders use data analysis tools to improve the quality of instruction at their schools. So I do that, and for me as a professor and working with other adults, I've had to adjust my techniques and strategies and skills in order to help them learn things that are, quite honestly, are pretty difficult, that they would typically learn in a classroom with me, but having to make that adjustment. And so I just say to college students, your professors are having to learn in a different way. They're learning really, as they're teaching, they're also learning. So everybody's almost at a level playing field. And if there's an opportunity for students who may have been struggling in college before, now that it's online, this is an opportunity that I believe that many college students can thrive, because technology, you all already proficient at it, you're good at it. Whereas a lot of professors, they may send emails or do those kind of things, but work in Zoom, Google Meet, and Canvas and Blackboard, a lot of these other platforms, having to do it virtually, that's humbling. They may not admit it, but it is. And so I think college students can thrive, can really make the most of this opportunity. And then this is something that I've said before COVID and after. There's a tendency, being young, and I know we all you want to make money, right? You want to get out, get a good job, make money. If you really take a hard look at what you love, I mean, if you love doing something, you'll never work. If you like, I think I would do this, even if I used to ask, and I still do ask people when they ask, I don't know really what I want to do in my life. I'm like, so what do you love? What do you love so much that you would do it for free? And if you find it, and you can answer that question honestly, whatever you choose to do, you're going to be successful at it, and you'll never feel like you're at work. Because if you pursue the money first, that may not be as rewarding. But if you pursue what you love, the money will follow you. It'll come because you'll be great at it.